Hi there. My name's Miriam. I'm a poet, amongst other things, and I'm sitting in an armchair, hence the armchair poet. Now, I wanted to share with you today a poem that is actually in two books. I wrote it as part of a collection called The Common Condition. It's the very last of the 35 poems that are in this book, and it's called Unfinished Poem because I was writing a whole series of poems about hope, trying to grapple with the idea of what it means to have hope in a broken world. And I wrote this poem that was meant to sort of tie a lot of those ideas together. And when I sent it to my mum, who's done a lot of my editing, she said to me, bless her, she said, "This is the closest you've ever come to being tacky." And I thought, right, well that's a problem. So I went through the poem, or rather she said that this last stanza was the closest that I'd ever come to being tacky. So I went through the poem and I agreed with her. She was right. I was trying to tie up ideas that can't be tied up. I was trying to resolve questions that can't really be resolved and give answers that we actually don't have. So instead of rewriting the whole poem, I actually just got rid of the last stanza because I realized that in attempting to tie up all the loose ends around questions of hope in this last stanza, I was giving answers or attempting to do something that not only can't be done but isn't actually wise to be done. And I named it Unfinished Poem, and I put it in the end of this book. Now, I had assumed when I was putting it in this book that, or hoped that I would come up with a resolution to the poem in time for my next book, and that it could be a connecting piece between the two. Now, when the next poem, or rather the next book came around, when it was time to start collating and putting work together, I realized that actually I still didn't have answers to those questions, and that I actually preferred to leave it unfinished. So the poem is in both. It's the last poem in The Common Condition. It's the first poem in The Weight of Hope, but it remains unfinished because I think it's more significant that way, and it pushes us to ask questions of our own life. So I'll read it to you from The Common Condition because it has a very particular introduction which talks about the experience of trying to write a poem across two books that I think helps to speak into it. One of the terrifying things about publishing a book, especially at my age, this was at 24, I think, 23, is the end. It suggests a sense of closure, of completeness, of finality, which does not exist in life. I have not reached any sort of plateau, and God still has much to do to carry on to completion, as he says in Philippians 1:6, everything that's going on in my life, which is why I included an unfinished poem. To read the ending, wait for my next book, ? Clearly that ending didn't come, but I think that's okay. And this is Unfinished Poem. The end. Where everything becomes clear? The epiphany? No. In real life, there is no such thing. Just another new dawn, a new sunlight showing us the broken. But if there were something to sum up all of life, some consistent note in the cacophony, some theme to keep us ever rising again and again, anew and anew, I think it would have to do with hope. The hope that is now but not yet. Always the hope that teaches us. The end. Let me know what hope teaches you, if you'd like to. And thanks for listening. Remember, you are fully seen, fully known, and fully loved. And I'll chat to you next time.